Hey there, everyone. Michael Damon here with the latest episode of Starbeam.one, Stand Up and Shine and Chill. It's a little series put together to keep people up to date with my project Starbeam.one. The show is modeled after the agile methodology of a stand-up where you tell your teammates what you're working on, what you're going to be working on, and any sort of friction points you may be encountering. And I've added so much more. Let's begin. Yes, doing the monthly updates now. I was doing them every other week, and I just think that once a month is okay for now. Especially with all the work that I'm doing, and especially for the past couple months where it's been really not a lot of things that you can see, a lot of refactoring, a lot of technical debt, which I've explained in previous episodes. But thankfully, all of that is done, and now I'm actually working on actual features, and so it's so great. It's so great to be here. I wish I was there back in December when I announced that we were going to be doing the subscriptions, and we'll get to it eventually. And so that's still on the plate here. That's what we're working for. That's version 1.3. But right now I'm working on version 1.2, and this is sort of a mixture of technical debt and new features. And so the difference is that I'll be able to demonstrate finally some new features, but I'm still attending to some of the old code or the existing code and making it so that it's easier to implement new features, but primarily working on the publishing model. And so that's kind of what's the focus is right now for getting everything ready for version 1.3, which is the subscriptions. Because subscriptions is actually, that's a new feature. That's going to be completely new, written from scratch, and it needs some certain functionality in place first before I do that, and that's what's I'm working on now for 1.2, and that's really program notes for this show. Let's move on to the next slide here. All right, so what did I do? Since last month I got version 1.1 published, and that was basically version 1.0 with a bunch of quality updates, and that was great. That felt really great to have that all done, and that's deployed. That's what you see now when you go to starbeam.one, and that's done. And it's nice. It's also in addition to code and whatnot, having different branches and Git, and this is all taken for granted and whatnot. But I enjoy it. Sort of like, hey, I didn't know this 4 or 5 years ago. I kind of knew about it, but I'm actually really good with it now, with having different version branches and working on new features. And if I find something in production, which actually happened 3 times this past week, I can switch quickly over to the production branch and do a hot fix and then deploy that into production. And that's working all really well. I'm really happy with that. And so now we have 1.1 in production, and now I'm working on version 1.2. And this is all about the model now. So now, getting the publishing model, and what we're going to be doing is improving how publishing is done. And so that's going to be the focus. And I'm hoping to have this done by July. Right now it's in, we'll see in the next slide, it's up towards the end of May, but I have a feeling it's going to carry over. Historically, that's been the case where it's just unexpected tasks show up like bugs in production, but also just with implementing new features. It's probably going to go in. I'm going to hope to get this done by July because I want to have version 1.3 done by October. And that's, once 1.3 is in place, we're going to start making money again. So that's really kind of the important part there. Hopefully have that done by October. And for right now, what I've been working on is 1.2 and getting the model adjustments in place. And once that is done, we'll get to the next slide here and talk about what I'm working on after. Really happy with how everything is progressing right now. So, it was a few months there of just, it's the worst, right? When I'm just working on things that are making things better, but you can't see it. And that's, I talked about that several times on the show. And it looks like the schedule here did not make it over as I had it in PowerPoint. So you'll have to excuse the mess that's on the left-hand side there. But you can see a little bit of it. And you'll have to take my word on it. And I'll kind of walk you through this. But I'll be working on the 1.2 model. And, talked about this with the publishing. And, this is written like almost 5 years ago. It's really difficult to accept that. I started October 2019. And this model, the publishing aspect, was one of the very first things I worked on, and it shows. Internally, there's a lot of things I had to keep adding on, and it wasn't just that it's the older code, it's all the newer code that I had to put on top of it as things progressed, and we started getting users using the system, and it's in a place right now I'm just not very happy with it at all, and I'm just taking, mostly it's the interface, but also the model can be improved there as well. So that's what I'm going to be working on. But also, after I'm done with that, and I'm actually really almost close done to the having the model there. You can see that there with the third line down from the green with the 0.5. I've got a half day left on that, and hopefully once that's in place, that should have that done either sometime today or tomorrow. I'll start working on the publishing wizard, and this wizard is going to be a lot better than what we have now for publishing products, and just have a control. The other thing that's really happened over the past 5 years, half a decade now, is that controls have been made available for Blazor, and things have gotten better. Free controls are free; you don't have to pay for them. And so I'm going to be taking advantage of that with a few control libraries I've been looking at, and I want to make it so it's a wizard, so it easily guides you through step by step to publish a product and kind of walk you through all the features, and make it really easy for you to do that. And right now, we have this concept of definitions and inventory, and definitions kind of are like, the way I look at them is probably a better way of looking at them as drafts. And when you actually publish something, that becomes inventory. So I'm kind of wanting to consolidate that a bit and make it a little bit more simpler and easier to understand. Hopefully, if everything goes well with that. And so now, so that's kind of the next step here, is start working on that wizard once the model's in place to build on. And that should take a good part of the month here. All right, moving on to friction points with Hide the Pain Harold here. And Harold has not been very busy, happy to say, for the past month or so. It's really the same as last time. There aren't any other outstanding issues right now except for the build times and the error reporting. The error reporting is actually really bad right now. There's one, I believe I mentioned this last time, and I still haven't heard anything from Visual Studio. It's just really frustrating to report something for many months that's kind of like a really important thing, right? Like, you're reporting bugs, we're testing your product, we're trying to make it better, and we're providing all the information we can from your built-in reporting system, and it's just not sending the data, and it's really frustrating. And it seems like this is should be the number one priority to get this fixed before anything else. It's like you want to be able to receive the data that people are reporting to you through your own feedback telemetry system that you provide. So I'm trying to check in every day, but I'm also kind of biding my time with that too, not being too active with it, so to speak. But I'm really kind of focused on code right now, and as long as I'm not reporting bugs, then, which seems to happen, by the way, whenever a new release is released, either with Visual Studio or ReSharper, as long as I'm not reporting bugs, it's not that big of a deal. But it does happen, and when it happens, it's bad. It's just really frustrating to report something and it's not being reported. Anyway, so basically that's it. That's really kind of the big deal. The build times are still a problem. They're, and I hate to say that I'm getting used to it, but not that I really have a choice, right? They still take anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds for a one-line change. Sometimes I will get the build acceleration, and that's really nice. But those are the two outstanding issues, which isn't too bad. I continue to be lazy with these, and I kind of want to say the morale is actually a little bit higher right now. And with the effectiveness levels here, we're talking about emotional contents of certain aspects of the project. As I like to say, the world talked about its feelings, the world would be a better place. And so with the emotional contents here, we're talking about effectiveness, how you feel about things. Overall morale, I actually feel really okay with this. Money is starting to become a problem. I have enough to go through the year here, and that once the Microsoft for Startup Azure credits expire, it's going to be a little interesting here how we're going to pay for that if we're not making money in time. I do have a couple options available to me, but overall, the morale is okay. I'm okay with everything, and I have the different versions separated out by 3-month increments. We've got July being 1.2, and then we've got October being 1.3, and then we've got January, cutting it close here, is version 2. And that's going to really open up the doors to a lot of things here. I'm really excited about that. I don't want to give too much away about that, but that's going to be kind of a focus here. And so overall, I actually put a little higher right now, about an 8. Schedule is okay. Might be a little bit higher right now because I still have 9 months left here to make something happen. And if I get those 3 versions done in 3 months apiece, everything's a-okay. But I'm kind of probably just leaning back here on a 6 for now. Technology's still the same. I have to say, like, the IDE really seems IDE is really great right now. Like, just a typical development, especially in C#, excellent. And Razor's actually getting better, and that's really nice too. It's just the build times and the reporting, as I mentioned. But the reporting's not day to day. The build times are. Build times are kind of like the only thing that is keeping this 8.5 from being like a 9.5 or better. Marketing, there's zero marketing right now, and there's really not going on much about that. But that will hopefully change here with 1.2, but definitely by 1.3, we're going to start marketing for real. Support's kind of in the same boat as marketing, just really not doing either right now. It's just all development right now. I'm just trying to get this done as fast as possible. And once we're ready to start marketing and getting the support and ready and everything, will take care of itself, hopefully. All right, just kind of keeping these really short and sweet-ish. Just right above 10 minutes. And this is not TikTok. We're talking about TikTok. Shout out to Kat and Steve talking about TikTok, maybe doing something there and getting us on there because short form. I don't know if these kind of videos, 10-minute videos, will be a hit on there, but we can try it out and see how it works. So, until then, just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's still supporting. People are still hanging around and they're rooting for me, and it's really great. Again, shout out to Steve and Kat, who've been really great supporters there. And we have a channel on Twitter that's doing really great too. We have about I'd say about a dozen people just actively discussing and talking, throughout the day, and it's great. So Vava Vortex, you're doing a great job, really helping out, really appreciative of all the support you're providing as well. We just had an Easter contest-ish over the weekend, and that was great. So everyone over at Vava Vortex, just shout out to you, really helpful as well. Okay, great. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. Until next time, stay safe and stay bright out there. Goodbye.